I need to have an honest conversation with you about the things that live in these woods, because you seem to be operating under the impression that the only dangerous animal out here is a bear. I've already covered bears. Bears are fine. Bears are predictable. Bears are, compared to some of the other things I share this forest with, practically reasonable. What I haven't told you about yet is everything else. The things that bite, claw, kick, stomp, gore and venom inject their way through the Pacific Northwest and beyond. The things that most people don't think about until they're standing face to face with one, and their brain is doing that thing where it cycles through every nature documentary they've ever seen, trying to remember if this is the animal you're supposed to make yourself big for, or the one you're supposed to curl up in a ball for, or the one you're supposed to punch in the nose. I've lived alongside every dangerous animal in North America for 300 years. I've been bitten, scratched, kicked, charged, chased, stung, and in one memorable incident in 1967, absolutely humiliated by a mountain lion in front of a family of elk who I'm pretty sure are still laughing about it. So let me walk you through the roster. Think of this as a field guide written by someone who's actually been in the field, as opposed to someone who studied the field from behind a desk and a very thick window. Let's start with mountain lions, because they're the one that scares me. Not bears, not wolves, not snakes, mountain lions. And the reason mountain lions scare me is simple. You don't see them coming. Bears announce themselves. They crash through brush. They huff. They make noise. Wolves howl. Moose are the size of a small car and have the subtlety of a marching band. But a mountain lion, a cougar, a puma, a catamount, whatever you want to call it, is a ghost with claws. They are ambush predators. They stalk silently. They position themselves above or behind their target, and they attack from a direction you're not looking. By the time you know a mountain lion is there, it's already decided whether or not to jump on you. That's the part that keeps me up at night, and I've been alive for 300 years, so it takes a lot to keep me up at night. The 1967 incident. Fine, I'll tell you. I was walking along a ridge in the North Cascades, minding my own business, eating some late-season huckleberries, feeling good about life. And a female cougar, maybe 130 pounds, which is big for a female, dropped out of a tree onto my back. Onto my back. She didn't land on me because she thought I was prey. I'm 8 feet tall and 600 pounds. She's not stupid. She landed on me because I'd been walking through her territory for 3 days and she'd had enough. It was a message. The message was, leave. The problem is that the message was delivered via claws to the back of my neck, and I did not receive it gracefully. I screamed. I'm not ashamed to admit this. I screamed like, well, I don't have a comparison, because nothing else sounds like an 8-foot Sasquatch being surprised by a cougar. But use your imagination. I spun around. She jumped off. We stood there staring at each other for about 5 seconds, and then she hissed, and I backed away slowly and left her territory. She won, completely and decisively. I had 4 scratches on my neck that took 2 weeks to heal, and a grudge that took considerably longer. The elk who witnessed this from the meadow below did not help. They watched the entire thing with what I can only describe as profound amusement. Elk are jerks. Here's what you need to know about mountain lions. If you see one, you're already in a better position than most people who have encounters, because most people never see the cat. If you do see one, make yourself look as big as possible. Raise your arms, open your jacket wide, stand tall, Do not crouch. Do not bend down. Do not make yourself smaller. Mountain lions are triggered by things that look like prey, and prey is small, hunched, and running. You want to look like something that's not worth the trouble. Maintain eye contact. Do not turn your back. Do not run. Back away slowly. If the cat follows you, stop. If it crouches or its tail starts twitching, it's thinking about pouncing. At that point, yell. Throw rocks. Throw sticks. Throw your water bottle, your backpack, your hiking pole. Anything to convince this animal that attacking you is going to be more trouble than it's worth. And if it actually attacks, if it makes contact, fight back with everything you have. Go for the eyes, the nose, the throat. Mountain lion attacks on humans are rare, but when they happen, the people who fight back survive far more often than the people who don't. This is not a bear situation where playing dead might work. Playing dead with a mountain lion just makes its job easier. One more thing about cougars. They're most active at dawn and dusk. If you're hiking in mountain lion country, be extra alert during those hours. And if you're hiking with kids, keep them close. Mountain lions are more likely to target small humans than large ones. For the same reason, they target deer fawns over adult deer. Size matters. A child running ahead on the trail looks, to a cougar's predatory brain, a lot like lunch. Snakes. Let's talk about snakes. I have been bitten by a rattlesnake exactly twice in 300 years, which is either a testament to my caution or a testament to the fact that rattlesnakes are generally polite enough to warn you before they bite. That rattle, that dry, buzzing, unmistakable sound, is literally the snake saying, "I am here, I am dangerous, please go away." It's the most courteous warning in the entire animal kingdom. The snake is doing you a favor. The question is whether you're paying enough attention to hear it. The first time I got bit was in 1789 on my left foot. I stepped on a timber rattlesnake that was sunning itself on a rock. My foot is roughly the size of a dinner plate, and the snake was roughly the size of my forearm, so from the snake's perspective, a warm boulder just landed on it. Fair reaction. The bite hurt. A lot. My foot swelled up to the size of a small watermelon and turned a color that I'd describe as angry purple. I limped for a week. But I survived. Because I'm large, and my body can handle venom that would put a human in the hospital. You are not large. Your body cannot handle it the same way. A rattlesnake bite won't necessarily kill you. Most people survive with proper medical treatment. But proper medical treatment means getting to a hospital. And if you're 5 miles into the backcountry, 5 miles is a very long walk with a leg that's swelling up like a balloon. Here's how to avoid snake bites. Watch where you step. That's it. That's 90% of snake bite prevention. Snakes don't chase you. Snakes don't ambush you. Snakes are lying on the ground being snakes, and you step on them or next to them, and they react defensively. Step on rocks, not over them. If there's a snake on the other side, you want to see it before your foot lands on it. Don't reach into crevices, under logs, or into rock piles without looking first. Don't sit down without checking the ground. Wear boots, not sandals, and if you hear a rattle, freeze. Figure out where the sound is coming from, then move away from it slowly. Do not try to find the snake. Do not try to get a closer look. Do not, under any circumstances, try to pick it up. I once watched a man try to pick up a rattlesnake to move it off the trail, and the snake bit him on the hand so fast that I blinked and missed the strike. The man was airlifted out. The snake went back to sunning itself. The snake won. If you do get bitten, stay calm. Keep the bitten limb below your heart. Remove any rings or tight clothing near the bite because swelling is coming, and get to a hospital as fast as you safely can. Do not cut the bite. Do not suck the venom out. Do not apply a tourniquet. Do not put ice on it. All of those treatments are myths that will make things worse. The only treatment for a venomous snake bite is antivenom, and antivenom is at the hospital, not in your first aid kit. Wolves are my favorite animal in this forest, and I'm going to tell you something that might sound controversial. Wolves are almost never dangerous to humans. In 300 years, I have never seen a wolf attack a human. Not once. Wolves are the most misunderstood animal in North America, and the fear people have of them is wildly, absurdly disproportionate to the actual risk. You are more likely to be killed by a cow than by a wolf. You are more likely to be killed by a vending machine than by a wolf. The big bad wolf is a fairy tale, and it's a fairy tale that has been used to justify killing wolves for centuries, which makes me angry, because wolves are brilliant, family-oriented, ecologically essential animals that deserve to be here as much as anything else in this forest. That said, wolves are wild predators, and you should treat them with respect. If you see a wolf, enjoy the moment. Most people never will. Keep your distance. Don't approach. Don't feed it. Don't try to interact with it. If a wolf approaches you, which is extremely unlikely, make yourself big, make noise, and it will almost certainly leave. Wolves are cautious around humans. They've learned, through centuries of being hunted by your species, that people are dangerous. The irony of you being afraid of them when they're far more afraid of you is something I think about often. Coyotes. Coyotes are wolves, scrappy, adaptable, slightly unhinged little cousins. They're smaller, less organized, and way more willing to live near humans. Coyotes are generally harmless to adults. They weigh 30 to 40 pounds. They're not going to take you down, but they can be a concern for small children and pets, especially in areas where coyotes have become habituated to humans, which is everywhere, because coyotes have conquered every habitat in North America, including downtown Los Angeles, which is honestly the most impressive thing any animal has ever done. If you see a coyote, yell at it. Throw things at it. Be aggressive. This is called hazing, and it's actually good for the coyote because it teaches them to stay away from humans, which keeps them alive longer. A coyote that's afraid of you is a coyote that won't get shot by someone less tolerant than you. Wild boar. Now we're getting into territory that genuinely scares me, and I want you to understand what that means, coming from a creature who's been alive since 1726. Wild boar, feral hogs, feral pigs, whatever you call them, are 400 pounds of muscle, tusks, and fury, wrapped in a body that looks like an angry bowling ball covered in wire bristles. They're fast. They're mean. They travel in groups. And unlike bears, which are generally trying to get away from you, a boar that feels threatened will absolutely, without hesitation, charge you and try to gore you with tusks that can slice through boot leather like butter. I had a run-in with a sounder. That's the term for a group of wild boar, and the fact that it sounds like something from a horror movie is appropriate. In 1998, in the southern Appalachians, I was walking through a hollow at dusk, and I walked right into a group of about 15 hogs, including piglets. The sow in front lowered her head, snorted, and charged me at full speed. I am 8 feet tall. I weigh 600 pounds, and I ran up a tree. I climbed a tree to escape a pig. It's the single most undignified moment of my 300-year life. And yes, that includes the cougar incident and the time I set myself on fire chasing s'mores. I sat in that tree for 2 hours while the sounder milled around below, occasionally bumping the trunk like they were checking to see if I'd fall out. I did not fall out, but my pride did. If you encounter wild boar, do not approach, especially if there are piglets. Back away slowly. If a boar charges, get behind a tree, a rock, anything solid. If you can't get behind something, climb. Boar can't climb. That's about the only advantage you have. If a boar makes contact, protect your femoral arteries, the big blood vessels in your inner thighs, because the tusks slash upward and a cut to the femoral artery is fatal in minutes. This is not a fun paragraph. Wild boar are not fun animals. They're invasive, destructive, and genuinely dangerous, and they're spreading across the United States at an alarming rate. Elk. People think elk are gentle. People think elk are basically big deer. People are wrong. Elk are 1,000 pounds of muscle and antler, with a temperament that ranges from mildly annoyed to I will end you and your entire family. Bull elk during the rut, mating season in September and October, are among the most aggressive animals in North America. They're hopped up on testosterone. They haven't eaten properly in weeks because they're too busy bugling and fighting other bulls, and they will charge anything they perceive as competition or a threat, including you, including your car. I watched a bull elk attack a sedan in a national park parking lot in 2016 because he saw his own reflection in the door panel. He destroyed the door, completely caved it in. Then he walked away like he'd won a fight, which technically he had. Keep your distance from elk, always. Even the cows, even outside of rut season. They're large, unpredictable animals that can kick hard enough to break ribs. During the rut, stay at least 75 yards from bulls. If a bull starts bugling and walking toward you, bugling is that eerie, high-pitched scream they make that sounds like a ghost playing a trumpet. Leave the area. Don't try to get a photo. Don't try to record the bugle for your sound collection. Just leave. Moose deserve their own guide, and I've written one, so I'll keep this brief. Moose are worse than everything I've described so far combined, but that's the next chapter. For now, just know that if you see a moose, give it more room than you'd give a bear. Way more room. Spiders. I'm including this because people ask about it, and because I want to be thorough. Yes, there are venomous spiders in the woods. Black widows and brown recluses are the main ones. No, they are not lurking in your sleeping bag waiting to bite you, despite what your anxiety is telling you. Spider bites happen when you put your hand or foot somewhere a spider is hiding. In a shoe, in a glove, in a pile of firewood. Shake out your shoes before putting them on. Shake out your clothes if they've been sitting on the ground. Check your sleeping bag before climbing in. These are simple habits that eliminate almost all spider bite risk. I've been bitten by a black widow once, in 1855. It hurt. I got a headache. I was fine in 3 days. You might not be fine in 3 days because, again, you are significantly smaller than me and your body processes venom differently. But black widow bites are rarely fatal with medical treatment. Brown recluse bites are nastier. They can cause tissue death around the bite, but also rarely fatal. The point is, spiders are a nuisance, not a catastrophe. Don't panic. Just shake your shoes. Here's my overall philosophy about wildlife after 300 years of coexistence. Every animal in this forest is just trying to survive. The cougar that jumped on me in 1967 wasn't evil. She was a mother protecting her territory. The rattlesnake that bit me in 1789 wasn't aggressive. It was scared. The The boar that chased me up a tree wasn't malicious. She was protecting her piglets. Every attack I've experienced or witnessed in 3 centuries was an animal responding to a perceived threat with the only tools it has: teeth, claws, tusks, venom. They don't have words. They can't ask you to leave politely. They can't file a complaint. They can only react with their bodies, and when a 600-pound animal reacts with its body, the results are dramatic. The best thing you can do in any wildlife encounter is give the animal space and a way out. Most animals, when given the option to flee, will take it. They don't want to fight you. Fighting is dangerous for them, too. A bear that gets injured in a fight with a human might not be able to hunt for weeks. A mountain lion that breaks a tooth loses a critical hunting tool. Even the aggressor has something to lose. So give them the exit. Back away. Be calm. Be big. Be loud if you need to be. And let them leave. The woods are full of things that can hurt you. But the woods are also full of things that make life extraordinary. The sight of an elk herd at dawn. The sound of wolves howling at dusk. The silent shadow of a cougar moving through the trees like smoke. These animals are not obstacles to your outdoor experience. They are the outdoor experience. Respect them, give them space, and you'll have stories that last a lifetime. Get too close, act too dumb, and you'll have a different kind of story. The kind they tell on the news between the weather and the skateboarding dog. Your call. A bonus round because I feel generous. Porcupines and skunks. Neither will kill you. Both will ruin your week. Porcupines are slow, docile, and covered in 30,000 quills that detach on contact and have barbed tips that work themselves deeper into flesh over time. I sat on a porcupine in 1831, in the dark, on a log that I did not inspect before sitting. I will not describe the next 3 hours, except to say that I removed over 200 quills from locations I did not know I had, and I have inspected every log before sitting since. If your dog gets quilled, and dogs get quilled constantly, because dogs are enthusiastic idiots who investigate everything with their face, get to a vet. Do not try to pull quills yourself. The barbs make removal painful, and improper removal can break the quill and leave the tip embedded. As for skunks, you already know what they do. What you don't know is that the spray range is about 15 feet. The accuracy is remarkable, and the smell doesn't wash off with soap and water, no matter what anyone tells you. Tomato juice is a myth. The real solution is a mixture of hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and dish soap. But you're not carrying that in the backcountry. So your real solution is to not approach the skunk. The skunk will stamp its front feet and raise its tail before spraying. That's your cue to leave. I ignored that cue in 1903, and I smelled so bad that a family of bears moved out of a cave I walked past. Bears moved out because of how I smelled. Think about that. Bigfoot, P.S. To the cougar on the North Cascades Ridge. It's been almost 60 years. I've moved on, mostly. But I want you to know that those elk told everyone. I still hear them laughing sometimes when I walk through that meadow. So thanks for that.